Hey guys, Matt Mollahan coming to you. Just want to talk about a couple things real quick. Done a couple of recap videos after the first NPFL Logan Martin, but I really want to talk about this new 6 Cents Pressure Series crankbait. It's a pretty special crankbait. Majority of the fish I caught on Logan Martin came on this particular crankbait right here, this wild lava crawl. And this is a PD7. They make them from a PD4 all the way up to a PD16 and some of the shad sizes or shad colors and things like that. But this is a PD7, dives 7 to 8 foot. If you like to crank with 10-pound fluoro, you could probably get this down to 8 or 9 feet on a long cast. But I went with the PD7 specifically because a lot of stuff that I was cranking there were kind of main river channel points and channel swings with a lot of good chunk rock there. There's a lot of good places to crank on that lake. It was a lot of fun. Caught a lot of fish cranking. But this particular one right here, this PD7, is the one that caught a majority of my fish. And, you know, I caught fish on other baits too. But in the mornings, I would basically start the day by cranking this, go catch a limit. It usually wasn't real big, but of course, most of the fish there aren't real big. But I did, you know, catch a number of fish in the mornings, and then I'd kind of rotate to the docks later in the day as the sun came up. But this new pressure series from 6 Cents that just came out, it's an awesome crankbait. Very subtle. It's different action. I know there's a lot of flat sides on the market. Look, I get it, right? Like, you know, copycat industry, everybody's copying this, copying that. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you that 6 Cents, while they may have similar baits, I haven't found anything to where I can say, oh, this is an exact duplicate, or this copies this particular brand, or whatever. They always do things that separate themselves and, you know, puts them a whole another level ahead of their competition. And this Pressure Series crankbait is one of those perfect examples of why. It's got a very subtle wobble to it in the water, okay? You can burn it, but this is meant to be fish slow. It's called Pressure Series for a reason, right? It's meant to catch those pressured fish. This right here does the trick 9 times out of 10. I feel like I got a lot more bites than I normally would have with this particular crankbait, just because of how subtle it is in the water. The rattles, very subtle. Hooks are very sticky, as you can see. And that's another great thing about this crankbait. In all 6 Cents crankbaits, they come out of the box ready to go. You don't have to replace these hooks. You can. I know people like particular hooks, but these on here are freaking awesome. And I really think the subtlety of this crankbait and how easy it was to work through the rocks. I could pause this crankbait, I could pause it, and it would sit there in those rocks and give those fish a chance to eat it. Most of the fish that I caught came on the pause because it's a very subtle rise. This crankbait doesn't have a ton of movement to it, which is exactly what you want when you're fishing in wintertime, cranking. And again, those pressured fish that see square bills, that see all those other flat sides, or, you know, see, you know, a lot of those balsa baits, which are great this time of year. This is just something different, guys. And it's something that I would highly recommend you at least try. Again, you know, you can talk about all the comparisons and copycat this, copycat that. This is a copycat of nothing. This is a whole nother level. 6 Cents has set itself apart with this crankbait. It is freaking awesome. You've got to try it, especially this time of year while there's still, you know, a few weeks, probably a wintertime fishing left, maybe a little more, maybe a month in some places. But down here in the South, we got about a few more weeks, a month or so, where this is still going to be extremely effective. But this is a fantastic crankbait that you have to try. Pressure Series, Wild Lava Crawl, make them in all your favorite shad colors, all the way down to a 16-foot diver. I put this on Sunline FC 12-pound crank. It is the only line I crank with. Sunline is, I use it for every application, but cranking wise, I only use the Crank Series, period. I will never crank with any other line. Since I have switched to that line and these movement series rods from 6 Cents, this is a 7.2 medium heavy, moderate fast, my hookup ratio has gone up 30%, easy. I did lose a couple of fish at Logan Martin, but for the most part, my hookup ratio has been fantastic. This Movement Series rod is awesome. Great cranking rod, Sunline FC 12-pound crank. That's my setup. You got to try this Pressure Series from 6 Sense. I'm telling you, you won't be disappointed.